Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our still pretty new show, The Weekly Assignment. And this is when executive producer Sam Osterhout and I talk to you about what's coming up on Lincoln Square, the latest headlines, and what we can do to fight back against authoritarianism. Hey, Sam, how's your weekend?
It's good. We are in the middle of a nor'easter right now, and but it's just rain. And simultaneously, like I got a big cold. So it's that season again. It's
It
wonderful.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I'm actually on the West Coast, and so we've got a tropical storm coming in here, so that's fun. But today is my husband's birthday, so happy birthday.
Oh,
Just wanted to
happy
say
birthday, Joe.
happy birthday. Well, yeah, coming up in just a few minutes, we are going to have on Ryan Wiggins, and she's the chief of staff at the Lincoln Project, so she can catch us up on what's going on there. But first, Sam, I thought that Lincoln Square should formally welcome Marjorie Taylor Greene to the resistance. Sam, did you have woke MTG on your 2025 bingo card?
Oh, of course I did.
Well, then you're a winner.
I'm a winner. No, I didn't. And in fact, I've been thinking about this. She's been kind of quiet this year, right?
Mhm.
Have you noticed that?
Not as many of like the Jewish space laser antics, for sure.
Yeah, and it really set us up for this sort of twist, this kind of plot twist where she comes out in favor of releasing the Epstein files, which is a kind of a moral imperative. It's if you're a moral human being, then these people need to be held to account. And so she takes that moral stance, which feels like it kind of makes me question all the other things she's done in the past.
Mm.
What's your take on this?
Well, I mean, it hasn't just been a one-off with her. I mean, she was one of four Republicans who signed on to releasing the Epstein files, which now they do have the 218 votes, but they haven't sworn in the new representative from Arizona. And of course, Mike Johnson has decided that while the government's shut down, there's really nothing for Congress to do. So he keeps trying to run out the clock on this, of course. But Marjorie Taylor Greene has come out for not letting the Obamacare tax credits expire.
Yep.
She has been critical of the Trump policy on ICE, and she came at it from the perspective of I'm a businesswoman, and we need to understand. I'm in construction, and this is destroying the labor force for us.
Right.
And while I believe in a secure border, we can't just be randomly picking up everybody on the street. There has to be a better way. And of course, I mean, at this point, we've seen so many videos of that. We're actually going to have Ryan talk about one right in her neighborhood. But yeah, she has really come out against Trump's tariffs too. She made some comments about that.
Yeah.
So really taking aim at the most unpopular things that Trump has been doing. And so, you know, I have to say there seems to be a political calculation here. Not that I know her personally or anything, but she's taking aim at things that people don't like about Trump. And clearly I think she's heard from her voters, but I think like a lot of Republicans, they're all kind of jockeying for what a post-Trump future will look like. Obviously, JD Vance wants to be president. Ted Cruz has been making moves, and I think she is trying to find her way as well.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things that I conjecture about, and I think the post-Trump presidency is exactly right. In the first order, I think there's this sort of break. The JD Vances who will double down on violence and fascism, and they see a sort of winning recipe with Trump, and um, I don't know, trolling, terror, whatever, whatever you want to call it. and they're going to double down on that. Excuse me. And Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to be taking a different path. It also
Mhm.
occurs to me that in such a weird world, she is, I wouldn't say she's, zooming left, but she's zooming towards a sort of more rational moral stance. Meanwhile, Fetterman is just, they're colliding in the middle somewhere in a weird netherworld of hot takes and bizarro politics. And
Yeah.
Fetterman, when he was elected, was this great progressive savior for the left, and almost immediately disappointed literally everyone. Everyone.
Yeah,
I
he was like,
wonder.
"Well, Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema are gone, so I'm gonna fill that role."
Yeah, they had a spot on the bench for for somebody like that. But I wonder if, I mean, as far as I can tell, Fetterman isn't exactly playing to his base. Maybe he's accumulating more, he's building a bigger tent. I don't know. But how do you think this plays for Marjorie Taylor Greene's base?
Yeah, so with Fetterman, it seems like the more he gets pushback from like the left, the more he thinks he's on the right track. And we saw this first with the Israel-Hamas war. And, he was like the only Democrat to, say that Trump should get a Nobel Peace Prize for,
Yeah.
negotiating a surrender after Gaza City was leveled, but with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she is doing more of the traditional populist track,
Yeah.
because while her criticism of ICE, I feel like, is a bit on the bubble because that's just, I mean, if there's one thing that Trump is associated with, it's draconian immigration policy.
Mhm.
But she clearly has read the polls and has seen that even some of the base is faltering on his economic policy. A lot of red states, a lot of red voters really benefit from those healthcare subsidies. And, I think she may be taking more of the traditional Steve Bannon track
Huh.
to let's buy off the working class, and do stuff that's popular as we transition to an authoritarian government. We give people a stake in it. Whereas Trump is like, hey, welcome to the oligarchy. Have fun.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's right. And I think, everyone in the chat is like, don't fall for it. And trust
Right.
me,
Yeah.
nobody's
I
falling for
mean,
this.
who knows what she's gonna say today? I mean,
Yeah.
this is not someone that, we necessarily feel is bargaining in good faith, but there have been so many instances that with her breaking with Trump when she used to be like his biggest fan, that it's worth talking about.
It's worth talking about, and I think any fracture in that in the right is actually worth talking about. I think the big question will be if Democrats can take advantage of any fractures in the right, which it doesn't look like it. We're not seeing that. I want to also just mention how bad Mike Johnson is. He, yeah, just because just because it's Monday and we need to be reminded. But he was talking about somebody asked him about Marjorie Taylor Greene's push towards healthcare, and he said Congresswoman Greene does not serve on the committees of jurisdiction to deal with those specialized issues, and she's probably not read in on some of that, which is the biggest dumbest male like mansplaining bullshit kind of thing ever. He's like, "Oh, she's real cute, but she probably doesn't know what she's talking about." So,
Right. Because when I think of a policy wonk, I definitely think of Mike Johnson.
yeah, exactly. And also, do you want to patronize Marjorie Taylor Greene? Like
Right.
for all of her, weirdness and space lasers and QAnon and all the things and her weird pull-up videos, um, she's not somebody that takes very kindly to being patronized.
No, no, she doesn't. So
I feel
I
like
would
she
definitely bet on her in a slap fight with Mike Johnson. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, no question.
Well, Sam, why don't we go ahead and bring on Ryan Wiggins now, and she can talk to
Hi.
us. Hello. Um,
Hello.
so envious of you and being outside. It looks like your weather is far better than what we're contending with.
65 degrees in the Florida Panhandle. You really cannot beat it. It's very, very lovely today. But before we get on the stuff, I've been sitting backstage listening to this Marjorie Taylor Greene conversation, right? And I have things I want to put in too.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, I mean, look, what she's doing, I mean, she's a Southern woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right there on the Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee border, right? You don't mess with us Southern women. You don't do it. And what happened, what really has happened here is Marjorie Taylor Greene had bigger aspirations. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to be governor or wanted to be a U.S. senator. And she needed Trump's endorsement to be able to do that. And he refused to give it to her. And I think a lot of what you're seeing right now is retaliatory on that. Said, okay, you're not going to support me and my goals after I have been a loyal soldier to you since the before times. I am now coming after you. And I think that has
that's what we have
more to do than Mike Johnson or her listening to her constituents. Yes, she is in construction. Yes, her district and others. There was a great article in the New York Times that came out this weekend. It was about the places where Obamacare is used the most, like where people are most reliant on this. And I was talking about the shutdown and all that stuff. But it's the Deep South. It's her district. And so, yeah, she does have to look out for that because her people are like, hey, wait a minute. Like, I voted for racism. I didn't vote to lose my health care. Like,
this has hurt other people.
Yes.
Well, and she's also providing this path that's saying, like, look, you can have health care and be a racist.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you can welcome.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things. I really honestly believe that like the woman scorned thing is serious, and a Southern woman scorned, get out of the way. They don't have anything to lose. They don't have any F's to give. And I think that is exactly what you're seeing right now. I think you are seeing her retaliate against Trump and say, I can be your friend or your enemy. Which do you want?
Yeah, she's about an hour and a half away from telling Trump to bless your heart.
Yes. That is very fair.
Yeah, she's got main character energy for sure.
Yeah, she definitely does. She definitely does. But I'll take it. Right now, she's saying the right things. I don't fall for it. I don't buy it. But she's saying the right things. And she is actually surprisingly, shockingly, like nauseatingly teaching the Democrats how to fight this.
Yes.
Again, it's the Republicans know the playbook. And that's one of the reasons Lincoln is so good at what we do. We speak both languages. We are bilingual. We can talk to the Democrats. We can talk to the Republicans. We have had that playbook in our hands before. We know how to fight it. And that is what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing right now. She's actually kind of Lincolning this, which is a weird thing to see.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. So, hey, thanks for having me on. Sorry about jumping into the before conversation.
No, that's awesome. And why don't we talk about, one initiative I know that the Lincoln Project is taking on for the 26th election. You've got your 26 targets.
Yes, we do.
You've got the top 26 Republicans that you're hoping to welcome into retirement. Yes. So talk to us a little bit about this and what the playbook is.
So one of the things we see with the Democratic Party that they do a lot is they're like, these are the 5 seats that we are going to spend money on. And this is where we are going to fight. And these are the seats we can win. And that is the dumbest play you can possibly do, because what you're doing there is telling the Republicans, hey, this is where you need to spend money. We are not spending money anywhere else. The Lincoln Project, we are hitting 26 of them. Why? Because the Republicans are running out of some money, and they can't defend all 26 seats. Some of them are more vulnerable than others. Some of them, but we believe that we have a really good shot at this. And we've had people ask, why the House? Like, why aren't you taking on the Senate? Well, appropriations bills start in the House. So if we can get the House back, we can kneecap Trump immediately, because there's no money to fund what he is trying to do. And we believe that these 26 seats are our best path to do that. So we're very, very excited about this. We're already getting, our donut ads where we can run them in multiple places and just change the name. We're already getting this stuff going for next year because it is so important. I mean, I was having a conversation this weekend, I'm living in Pensacola, Florida. I am in the heart of MAGA country. And there are a lot of Democrats around here too, though. And they always, if I'm out in public, I get called up and they grab me by the shoulders. What are we going to do, Ryan? This is what you can do. You want to get involved? Write postcards to these. These are the 26. These are the 26. Not who the DNC is saying, not who the D-Trip is saying. These are the 26. Follow Lincoln's lead. We know what we're doing here. We have spent almost a year figuring out who we are going after. These are the ones. These are the vulnerable ones. We're really excited. We released those on the 26th of September. It was fantastic. And we are really, really excited about our campaign next year. We feel good about it, guys. I know that a lot of people were looking and saying, well, 2024 was such a disappointment. It was such a heartbreak. This isn't going to be a heartbreak. Trump has hurt his own base. MAGA has hurt their own base. And they may not show up to vote, but I really don't think that they're showing up to vote red if they show up to vote at all.
And also, impeachment starts in the House as well.
Impeachment does start in the House. I mean, you'd still need the Senate to do anything. We figured that out after he was impeached twice during his first term. But it doesn't matter. If we can stop his spending bills, we stop him. We stop Project 2025. We stop all of this in its tracks because they can't do it without money, and the money starts in the House. So that's the play, and it's a good one. It's a good one. We're real excited about it.
It is a good one. What do you think the odds are for us? I mean, do you think it seems like it could be a bloodbath for the Republicans in 26, but are Democrats feeling it? Are we going to show up?
I think we are going to show up in droves. And I think more importantly than the Democrats showing up, always lock in the base, right? The base has to be there.
Sure.
But I mean, the fastest growing party in the United States or political affiliation in the United States is NPA. I'm an NPA. It is the people who are kind of disenfranchised with both parties right now. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking at that, and you're looking, okay, well, there's the Democrats who really aren't fighting the way we want them to fight, but there are the Republicans who are tearing down the freaking nation. It's kind of a no-brainer there, and we can fight. That's the thing too. It's the American people relying on our politicians and we have a voice. They work for us. We are the people. We are the boss. And so use it. Use your voice. Use your talents. People are always asking, how can I get involved? Outside of writing a check, how can I get involved? I can't tell you that. What are you good at? What are you best at? Where is your passion? Where is your fire? Okay. Find that. Apply that to this fight. If you're a great writer, write postcards. If you are good with people, go door knocking. If you're good with organization, volunteer with your local party or a campaign. There's so much that the American people can do. You just have to do it.
Absolutely. And I know that you shared with us last week that right in your neighborhood, you actually had an incident where ICE came to town. And can you tell us, I think we have the video of that, but talk to us about this because this is what is going on in neighborhoods across the country.
This is happening. Okay, so by complete accident, just because when I graduated from college, I bought a house, a little podunk house. I had a trap house next door to me when that happened. It's not a great neighborhood, but that neighborhood has become the neighborhood in this area to live in. And this happened in this neighborhood. Okay, it's inside the city. We have had ICE raids in the county ongoing. Okay. But this one hit really close to home for multiple reasons. I mean, first of all, Susan, you and I had talked about just how devastated I was when Alligator Alcatraz opened up in Florida and how much it made me sick. I was ready to jump off a cliff. I could not believe that this was where we were. This was last Thursday, and this completely sent me spiraling. And one of the reasons is because this is less than half a mile from my house. Another reason that this is sending me spiraling, this is a childhood friend's business. He's a landscaper, and his business landscapes for the city of Pensacola. And it's a lot of high-end clients. these people, they ended up coming in. I've actually talked to the mom of my childhood friend who owns this business, and I was talking to her this weekend about it, and she said, this actually started 6 months ago when they realized that they were being basically stalked from down the street. ICE agents were there with binoculars 6 months ago, stalking this business. Why this business? Because racism, because it's landscaping, and there are Hispanic Hispanic looking people who work there. Right. So they started that 6 months ago. Last Friday, apparently ICE came to the business and said, hey, you're going to need to submit. And this is on a Friday, right? That's 2 Fridays ago, not this past one, 2 Fridays ago. Showed up and said, you're going to have to submit all of the documentation for all of your workers to this judge by Monday. And so he did. He had all the documentation. He brings it up to the judge. Fine, dandy. He thinks his week's going to be fine. He's done what was asked of him. Thursday, 6:30 in the morning, ICE shows up, closes down the streets. All the streets are in there. Now, you have to understand, this is also a path to 2 high schools that they have shut down at 6:30 in the morning. So they've caused issues with going to school and all of this stuff. I have a friend who lives across the street from this. I was at her house on Friday night. We were talking about it, and she was talking about how scary it was. Her own son went to go just Aryan looking, white, blonde hair, blue eyes, white kid trying to go get in his car that morning, and ICE was yelling at him, and he was like, I live here. This is it was just incredibly aggressive and scary. And I mean, the Democratic Party, the local Democratic chapter is less than a block from where this happened too.
Wow.
So I mean, it was just very in your face, and it's the first one we've had inside of the city limits. They ended up taking all of his computers. They came in without a warrant because ICE is not a real law enforcement agency. They came in, they took all of his computers. He had no way to notify the families or to run his business right now. No way to notify the families of those who were taken. They put 35 people in handcuffs. They ended up detaining 17 of them, took some of them out of state. I mean, they took some of them over to Alabama. Some of the ICE, the people who were ICE at this did not live in Florida. I mean, they're just here and live in Alabama or Mississippi and are happy to come and cause chaos. And it's just disgusting. I mean, there are a couple things. This small business owner was a registered Democrat. So there's a lot that's going on right now inside of Pensacola where we're talking about, what were the things that would have led? Why this landscaping company and not any of the other ones? Why, what is happening here? And I mean, there are a few things. First of all, Ron DeSantis recently did a Doge audit in Escambia County. And when he did that, he saw how the city, actually it wasn't Escambia County, it was the city of Pensacola. We are broken up like that here. He did an audit of the city of Pensacola. So he was able to see where they were spending their money. And so he could see there is this landscaping company, right? And then he can go and pull up who's the owner, Ford is all public records. Everything is open. Who's the owner? How's that owner registered? And so, I mean, that was part of the question is this retaliation because this is a registered Democrat owned business that is landscaping? Is this retaliation because our mayor endorsed Byron Donalds for governor and Byron and Ron DeSantis have beef? What is this? Where is this coming from? And why this one business? And like I said, the family is a prominent family in town. He has paid taxes on all of his employees. I mean, he's doing everything that he's been asked to do. He's doing it right. He had the documentation. One of the women who was taken at the time said, I have my documentation. I am legal. Here it is. And they said, it's fake. Take her anyway. And they did. They took her out of state. They took her to Alabama, and she was there for 6 hours without being able to contact anyone, without a lawyer, they took her completely out of the state of Florida. It's wild. And what this is and what this feels like. And I mean, again, being someone who lives in the Deep South, this feels like the modern day Klan. This is the kind of stuff the Klan would do, is they would come and they would intimidate and they would freak people out. I mean, this is the Klan with masks instead of hoods, and rather than burning crosses, they're taking people.
Right. They have the power of the state behind them.
They have the power of the state. They have the power of the presidency behind them. And it's terrifying because you don't even know who these people are. So they show up, they don't have badges. They have masks on. I mean, they have a vest that says police on it, but we know you can buy those off Amazon. How do you know that this is even really ICE, that you're not being human trafficked? Like, how do you know?
You don't.
And that's what's so scary. He took all of their computers. Like, there's personal stuff on those computers. There's business stuff. Like, they shut down a small business in the Florida Panhandle. Why would you do that?
Not very Republican.
Not very Republican at all. And I mean, and we believe in due process here. We believe in having warrants before you can go invade someone's personal space. Like, it is completely out of control. What it has done, though, is, because everyone in Pensacola is a small town. We grew up with this kid. Everybody here grew up with this kid, right? And so there are a lot of people who are MAGA who have used him to do landscaping, and they've used him to do this. He's one of their drinking buddies. They watch football together, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden this has happened to him, and they're like, whoa, what is going on? Like, this happened to this kid? Like, why this kid? And so that's waking up those MAGA people too, because racism seems like fun and a good time until it's happening in your backyard, until you are seeing this happen to your friends and good families of people that you know. And it shouldn't take us getting there, but if it is what takes us getting there to stop this, it's there. It's time to stop this.
I have Latino friends in Los Angeles and born in the United States, but they're all carrying all of their paperwork. They're carrying everything, their birth certificates, passports, and that's not a way to live. Like,
No.
We're Americans. We should not have to do this. And I'm also familiar with some Iranian.
Mm-hmm.
I have Iranian friends, and in the streets of Iran, you have goons who can do whatever they want to you.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with, like you mentioned, saying we don't know why this is happening. And I think that's the point. You're not meant to know. This is about having an abusive partner or an abusive parent, right? You're not meant to know why they're angry at you. You're meant
and
to
they can come for you at
continue
any time. And that's
Right.
the other thing, it's a fear thing. And I mean, I told my husband, and I'm sure this will just absolutely delight Rick and Stuart and Jeff when they hear me say this. But I was like, I wish someone had called me. I would have loved to go there and troll. I would have loved to go
Right.
there and be like, take your mask off. Because that's the thing, it's all about fear.
Right.
And nothing that bullies don't
Exactly.
fear anything more than exposure. Bullies are terrified of a different kind of bully. And I am one of those kinds of bullies. I have no problem coming up to you and asking you what the F you are thinking and why you are doing this. I'm not scared. Again, redneck woman, Southern woman. I am not scared. And so, I mean, and that was the thing, is I was like, man, we can all do this, and you're seeing it around the country, and it's something that's really kind of inspiring to see average Americans standing up and saying, I'm not afraid of you. Like, Tubby, they said you can't even serve. Like, get out of here. I mean, it's throwing it back in their faces. You can't. The way to win this is what Lincoln was doing in 2020, right? We kept people laughing. We kept people making fun of them, because there's nothing authoritarians can stand more than not being taken seriously and being laughed at. So you take this opportunity to just shame them and laugh at them. And there was this great video. I shared it on our water cooler chat at Lincoln this weekend, and it's going viral. And it's a guy who's talking about what's going to happen to these ICE people when this is over, because this will not last forever, guys. Who knows how long? It could last decades, but it's not going to last forever. And when this is over, all of those ICE agents are going to be unemployable. They're Nazis. They're going to be unemployable. That stink is going to be on their kids and their kids' kids.
Right.
You are part of the American Nazi movement, and you're done. You're cooked. So I hope that they're saving their money. I hope that, all of that ridiculous, that we're paying ICE agents more than we're paying teachers. I hope they are saving it, because they are screwed on the other side of this. And I will personally ensure that they are screwed, because any of them that I can know about, I'll make the phone calls. I'll write the postcards.
Sure.
I'm a long letter person. I'm happy to reach out to your boss and tell them what a piece of crap you are. And I mean, and that's the thing, right? So joy comes in the morning. We've got to get through all of this crap. But while you're getting through it, give it back to them. Give it right back to them, because they're terrified of that. They're terrified of it.
Yeah, it's going to be we talked about the House turning in 26, then impeachment power and all of that, but this is like a massive legal tangle,
Oh
right?
yeah.
That and when people in the chat always talk about the Nuremberg trials, like in the beginning it was like haha, but now I'm like,
Yeah, but
actually, this
no,
is
we're
going to be
there.
a huge project
Right.
Yeah.
of trying to hold all of these people accountable in a
Right.
way that that ensures that this doesn't happen again. I mean, it's really going to be an
It's gonna be
incredible.
something. It's gonna. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not even playing. Like, there's part of me that's like, I'm gonna go back and get my law license
I
so I
know.
can prosecute them. Like, get the hell out of here, because yeah, it is. It's gonna be a huge. I mean, it's gonna be huge. On the other side of this, it is. I mean, it's going to be just like that. It's going to be just
Yeah.
like the Nuremberg trials, because you're seeing the same level, not yet the same level of inhumanity, or at least we don't know it. 2/3 of the people who were put in alligator Alcatraz are just missing. We have no idea what happened to them.
Right.
So, I
I
mean,
mean, people don't know what happened to all the children from the first Trump administration.
No,
Right.
we don't. We don't.
But
And so,
as
I mean,
the Lincoln Project, you have that ad from a few months ago about, hey, you have all these prisons, you have alligator Alcatraz. Guess who could end up there?
yeah,
We're looking at you, JD Vance. We're looking at you, Pam Bondi. We're looking at
yeah,
you, Cat Patel.
yeah. I'm not scared of ending up there. I mean, it may happen, but I won't stay there. I haven't done anything wrong. Like, I'm standing up for my country. And I really strongly have always believed in the saying that, justice, or history always bends toward justice. And, and it may be a slow grind to get there, but we're going to get there, guys. We're going to get there. And we need everyone to hold on and to keep fighting, and to join us. I mean, I know that if you're watching this, you have joined us. Get your friends and family to join us. First of all, we're a lot of fun to hang out with. I mean, truly. But we're also doing a lot of good. And we are doing it, like I said, we're beating them with their own playbook. And we're going to continue to do that. We've been doing that since December of 2019, and we are going to continue to do this as long as Trump is on this earth and is a threat to American democracy. And it is my great honor to get to do it. So if I end up in prison, I've told my husband, my kids on this, if I end up in prison for this, then that's a badge of honor, because I'm going to continue to fight. I'm not stopping. No, y'all shouldn't either.
And if you can, donate to the Lincoln Project, because you know the work
Please.
they do. And if you haven't already, join Lincoln Square, subscribe. You can become a paid or free subscriber, and help us with, get out the message as well.
It's very important,
Right.
guys. We need you.
Ryan,
Yeah.
thank you. And I know we'll be watching to see, because I'm sure you'll be at the No Kings protest, again over the weekend. I
I
can't
am
wait.
very excited about No
Videos.
Kings. Go to the protest. If you've never been to a protest, I have so many people who say to me, like, I don't know that that's my bag. I haven't ever been to a protest. And they are so inspiring. They are so
really
inspiring. There's so much positive energy there. Go to a protest. It is not a scary thing. It is a uniting thing. It makes you feel like you're not alone. And I think they're the best. So definitely go to No Kings.
I couldn't agree more.
Ryan, thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
And
This
as
was
always,
fun.
yeah, we have to have you back. You're always so great on strategy session, and we love having you here.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks
and
for having me. This was fun. It's always
especially in
fun
the
to play.
winter when I can see your background,
Yeah.
and it just gives me a little bit of, like, oh,
We got 10 inches of snow last year because global warming's a hoax.
What?
So yeah, Florida.
Okay, well that's
got
for
10
next
inches of
time.
snow for the first time in history last January. The
Oh.
day after Trump was inaugurated, actually, hell froze over. It was crazy.
Horrible.
Anyway,
We'll talk about that next time.
next time. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. Wow, that was great. I love Ryan so much. I remember she posted like so many great photos and videos from No Kings back over the summer. So really looking forward to seeing her dispatches from Pensacola. And then let's just quickly talk about what the week is looking like ahead on Lincoln Square. We have something that I know you and I are both really excited about. Ken Harbaugh, a veteran who has been in Ukraine recently, has is coming back, and he will be on strategy session tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, and then he'll be back again with Stuart Stevens, who has also been in Ukraine somewhat recently, and they will share what they've seen right from the front lines.
Yeah, the footage, the images that we've seen, and I know there's a lot more that we haven't seen, is remarkable. It is absolutely incredible. And Ukraine is it's one of those stories that is always sort of hanging out in the background. And it we need to be able to foreground all of these stories. I'm really excited for this.
Right. I mean, during a period during the Biden administration, I think when a lot of us were thinking the Trump threat was behind us, we're moving on from the threat of autocracy, we saw a world away in Ukraine, just how easily, your rights can be snatched away when you
Yep.
have a dictator like Putin who decides that he wants to expand his empire. And we all know that he is a great friend to our current president, and their fight for freedom mirrors our own. And
It does.
so it's not a story that we will ever, look away from here at Lincoln Square. And we're just so fortunate that we have such good friends who are part of this fight intimately and can share with us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to Protect and Serve also with Michael Fanone and Maya May on Thursday. And last Thursday show will be airing again at 11 o'clock today. So if you missed that, it was an incredible show. But
We've heard from you. I know sometimes it's hard to tune live. So in addition to you, sometimes, you can, of course, play back the videos and see our write-ups, but we also have started to run them again, especially over the weekend when people have a little more time. And that's because of you. That's because of feedback from you. And we really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also, oh man, I'm talking to Gareth Gore this week, and that was scheduled for last week, but he got a cold, which now I have. So I don't know. He's not anywhere near me, but anyway, he wrote the book Opus, and I'm about halfway through, and it is wild. It is the story of Opus Dei, which is at the forefront of the Christian nationalists who are running our government currently. And it's an old story, and it is crazy. So I'm super excited to talk to him about that. And we have a ton of content this week. Yeah.
Absolutely. So please, like we said before, if you have not subscribed yet to Lincoln Square, please do so you don't miss any of these great shows coming up. And we're looking ahead to the weekend. That is the weekend. That is our weekly assignment for us, for you. The No Kings protests. There are thousands of them going on across the country. Probably one not very far from you. You can find where the nearest one is at nokings.org. We are hoping to make this an even bigger event than the one over the summer, especially now that the Trump budget has passed, now that he has shut down the government, now that ICE is running rampant in Chicago, in Portland. The National Guard has been dispatched there as well. And in neighborhoods close to you, as Ryan just said, actually, we got reports in my little township outside of Lansing. We had Border Patrol agents around last week. And,
Right.
it's affecting everybody. So get out there and grab a friend, grab that friend that says, I don't know if politics are for me, and be like, well, why don't you check it out and see what you think? Because when I went to the one in Lansing, Michigan over the summer, it wasn't just a protest. It was a great place to get to know people. They had all sorts of booths set up for community organizations. They had water, they had snacks. They wanted to make sure that, people were having a good time. There were activities for kids out there. It was a really great event. It was kind of like a giant block party. So if you can make it out there on Saturday, go to nokings.org and find the protests near you.
Yeah, I at the last one I actually got a little choked up because you forget, I think a strategy or something that the administration, the regime is counting on is us feeling very isolated. And I mentioned Iran earlier. Iran is terrorized by about 8 to 12% of the population or less. And this is where we are. There are more of us than there are of them. And when we let them divide us, they win. These No Kings rallies are a reminder that we hold all the cards. That's it. We hold all the cards.
Right. And
Definitely.
it's more powerful than any poll could be. That's great. And we have Behind the Numbers with Rick and Andrew Wilson. They break it all down. Sam had a great write-up over the weekend. But this is a way for us to express physically how we hate your tariffs. We hate your ICE policies. We hate what you're doing to healthcare in this country. We
Yep.
hate the fact that you shut down the government for no reason. If we could have a vote of no confidence, this is it.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. And we're going to say this later in the week too on our lives. But we would love to get pictures from you if you go to a No Kings protest near you, signs, video. They're just so inspiring, and we would love to maybe even put together a post of
Absolutely.
Your guys' images. Will credit you, and if you want to be credited. But anyway, we'll talk more about that later in the week.
Tag us on social media. We'll be on the lookout. But thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a really great show with Ryan, and we will look forward to talking with you about No Kings in our show next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank